all of the best Dragon Ball crossovers. Dragon Ball is the biggest manga and anime ever made, and its creation led to the arrival of many other next-generation works such as One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, Jujutsu Kaisen, and so on. It is because of how big Dragon Ball is that many modern anime make references to stuff such as the Super Saiyan, the Kamehameha, or even Yamcha's iconic death. But what's even more interesting is the massive amount of crossovers that Dragon Ball has been featured in throughout the years. Cross Epoch, one of the most iconic crossovers Dragon Ball has ever been in. Basically, this manga crossover combines the characters of both Dragon Ball and One Piece in some sort of a massive party, as Hercule asks Shenron to become a king and give him a giant castle. Many different Dragon Ball and One Piece characters start to show up to the event and interact with each other, for instance, Goku and Luffy. The manga is not really that long, expanding for about 20 pages, but it was a magnificent treat from Akira Toriyama and Eiichiro Oda that most didn't expect. Toriko, One Piece, DBZ. Another Dragon Ball crossover that included One Piece, but this time around, Toriko was also added to the mix. Characters from the three franchises joined for a competition that would earn the winner a special meat that was a treat like no other, and given how Goku, Luffy, and Toriko live in order to eat as much as they can, it came as no surprise that all of them ended up participating. But it was not all about the rivalry, and at some point the three franchises teamed up so as to beat an unexpected major villain, Dragon Ball, Dr. Slump. Dragon Ball and Dr. Slump are both creations from Akira Toriyama himself, so it shouldn't be a surprise that at a given point in time, both franchises ended up in a crossover. This actually happened twice. The first time we saw Aurelia and Goku together, Dragon Ball's main character was but a kid, and it obviously happened during the time of the OG Dragon Ball anime. The second time though was with Goku already as a grown-up adult during Dragon Ball Super. Aurelia being a robot was obviously still a child, but it was incredibly heartwarming to see the biggest successes from Akira Toriyama together once again after many years. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. This crossover was kind of a sneaky one, since it didn't come as one of Dragon Ball's characters showing up in the video game or with a special DLC including a mission of sorts crossing over both franchises. In Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 3, it was possible to unlock Goku's legendary outfit and make Naruto wear it, and it actually fit him really well. It may not be as cool as it would have been having Goku as a playable character, but still was kinda nice. Famicom Jump series. Jump had a ton of cool video games back in the 80s and 90s which had a similar concept, to place as many characters from as many renowned manga franchises together as they could. Famicom Jump Hero Ratsuden is a great example of this idea, as the game took a Jump reader to a fantasy world where they had to gather Jump allies in order to battle the forces of evil, commanded by Demon King Piccolo. The video game was actually a way to celebrate Jump's 20th anniversary, and after beating it, players could watch a special scene featuring all of its characters. Puzzle and Dragons. Puzzle and Dragons is a massive video game, especially in Japan, and it has been around for more than a decade now. This puzzle video game once featured a collaboration with Dragon Ball which consisted on including characters from the anime as enemies. Most of the crossover was a sort of Namek Saga celebration, since players mostly fought Cybermen, the Ginyu Force, and Frieza as the last boss. The gameplay is pretty simple. Players have to combine gems of the same color in order to unleash powerful combo attacks that deal damage to the villains. Donkey Konga 3. When fans think about Dragon Ball, they often think about their fights, transformations, special attacks, and so on. But Dragon Ball has always had some incredible music tracks that still make the fans vibe. One such track is obviously Chala Head Chala, DBZ's opening, which was even featured in Donkey Konga 3. This classic Nintendo game had a rhythm gameplay which consisted of the players matching up the beats of the song. With Chala Head Chala included as one of the playable tracks, fans could have a lot of fun while at the same time sing their Dragon Ball hearts out. Gamera. When talking about crossovers, most of the time it's Dragon Ball the franchise that actually crosses over onto the other, or with multiple franchises joining up for a major project. However, with Gamera, the iconic Japanese kaiju, things were different. It was during the OG Dragon Ball that we saw Roshi summoning a spinning turtle that turned out to be Gamera itself. Why did Roshi summon the kaiju? In order to use it as a vehicle of sorts. Given that Roshi can neither fly nor use the flying nimbus due to his impure heart, using Gamera was a pretty good choice. Dragon Quest. Akira Toriyama is not only the creator of massive hits like Dr. Slump and Dragon Ball, he has also worked as the character designer for Dragon Quest in multiple entries of the franchise. Dragon Quest is one of the biggest video game franchises, especially in Japan, so it shouldn't be a surprise that Akira Toriyama agreed to it. But when did the Dragon Ball and Dragon Quest crossover take place? Well, it was in DBZ Battle of Gods, with the movie featuring in but an instant a Cure Slime, a monster that belongs to the world of Dragon Quest. J-Star's Victory V's. Much like the Famicom Jump series, J-Star's Victory Vs was a massive collaboration between multiple Jump franchises for a single video game. J-Star's Victory Vs celebrated Jump's 45th anniversary, and it included Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza from Dragon Ball. Other franchises that were also included in the game were Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, Dr. Slump, Bobobo, and many more. While some characters in J-Star's Victory Vs were simply included as support characters, all three from Dragon Ball were fully playable. Jump Superstars, another collaborative effort between multiple Jump franchises for a video game. Jump Superstars was only released on Nintendo DS, which looked like an effort to make the video game as portable as the manga series. The gameplay was pretty interesting given that the player had to build a deck of komas, which were actually the characters distributed in 3 different categories: help, support, and battle koma. In a way, it was like really bringing the manga panels to life through Jump Superstars. Obviously, alongside Dragon Ball characters, there were also others from One Piece, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and more. Fortnite. Probably the biggest crossover ever made in the media for Dragon Ball. Fortnite has been one of the biggest hits in the gaming world for several years now, and at some point Epic Games decided it was time to dive into the anime world real hard. It was not only possible to portray characters such as Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Goku Black, and even more. Players could even use the Kamehameha in-game to score some crazy and memorable kills. Overall, one of the most hyped crossovers that Dragon Ball has ever been in. Jump Force. What was thought of as an incredible celebration for the 50th anniversary of Jump was in the end kind of a letdown. Yes, the game included a story mode for players to play through an original character that could be taught techniques from multiple Jump franchises, including Dragon Ball. And yes, there were several playable characters from Dragon Ball, but overall the game was just not it. The gameplay was stiff and the story mode was pretty much a big miss. What's for sure is that it didn't live up to the hype that its initial announcement had built, but it still remains as an interesting game with a cool concept that can be pretty fun, yet that's pretty much it. Battle Stadium D.O.N. Battle Stadium D.O.N. was a video game that basically followed the concept of what if Dragon Ball, Naruto, and One Piece joined for a Super Smash Bros. Kind of game, with characters placed in a scenario that they could be thrown off from and with many weird items popping up now and then. And Battle Stadium D.O.N. was pretty much the result of it. It wasn't a super massive hit within the video games market, but it still worked pretty well overall given the combination of the 3 biggest manga and anime franchises that Jump ever had. And that's pretty much it for Dragon Ball and all the crossovers that it's been featured in throughout the years. Whether it is in video games, anime, or even manga, Akira Toriyama's biggest success has basically done it all. And for sure, there will be even more crossovers waiting for Goku and his friends in the future.